So we're starting the first session laying down. I just want you to notice how it feels to be on the mat. Noticing as you would in class. You can think about the back of the head and back of your shoulder blades. How are they? And just notice where the pelvis is resting. It's important that you're listening in and getting to grips with just how you feel today. We're going to start with some breath. Inhaling into the back of the ribs. Exhaling, noticing the front ribs and how they move back down again. You can take as much time as you need here, filling up the back of the body, deflating the front of the body. As you come through this initial setup of your breath, notice how much expansion you have and notice how it feels to deflate. The second part of the breathing, you're going to change your arm position. So interlace your fingers and take them behind your head. Your upper arms are outwardly rotated, so your elbows will be narrow. You'll definitely be able to see them even though you're looking straight up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in here. Notice. Breathing out through your mouth. Notice. You want to feel that the cupped hands create a head cushion for the back of the head, and as much as possible you're still managing to stay quite relaxed through the throat. Notice particularly how long it does take to deflate through the front rib cage, because you're going to use that as you start to come into chest lift. So as you breathe out next, or when you feel you're ready, think about hovering the back of the head away from the floor, gently nodding your chin to your chest, leading with the elbows in their forward position and then inhaling to lay yourself back down again. You'll take a breath out. Create some space for the spine by moving the shoulder blades away from each other. Think about rolling up, rolling down, and how you would organise through the blades to take you into that initial flexion through the spine. We're just going to do one more here. Exhaling, lengthening, and then inhaling to lay yourself back down again. Just a little bit of a wake up for the front body. We're flexing still now in the lower half, but you're going to think about more what's happening as the back body supports and the front body opens. So coming into bridging, if you have been supporting yourself with a head cushion, you can take that away now, and as you exhale, stand down into the feet, hover the pelvis. There's a feeling that the pelvis scoops forward in order to come up. Inhale up at the top of the bridge, it can be shallow. You're really trying to stay calm through the abdomen. And as you breathe out, imagine the back ribs spreading down towards the floor. The sit bones will respond and they'll widen too. And you reconnect. It's quite shallow as you connect there. You don't have to overly try to start all over again. Take a breath into the back of your body. As you breathe out, stand down into the feet, hover the pelvis. Think about the scooping action forward and how that enables your kneecaps to still keep reaching forward too. Inhale up at the top of your bridge, and as you exhale, imagine the back ribs spreading and descending. Sit bones will start to part. You'll feel the back of the body dropping down towards the floor, and it can be sequentially but not overly tried to start again. Exhaling, standing down to hover. Scooping the pelvis as it comes up in order to create as much length down the front of the body as you can. How does it feel? Could the sacrum nudge up a little more? You always want to feel you're standing firmly into your blades. As you exhale, again, widen through the back of yourself. Feel how the back of the head drops back, throat is easy, sit bones widen, and bringing yourself all the way back down again. One more. If you want to, exhaling, feet stand down, pelvis lifts up, knees firing forwards, long through the thigh bones. Take a breath in up here. Just for those of you who need to be aware, big toes, internally rotate your thigh bones, and then as you exhale, you can bring yourself all the way back down again. Once you're down, we're into leg raises. You could grab your head cushions again if you wanted to. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, ribcage relaxes. Stand down into one foot and float the other. Take a breath in with your leg raised, and as you breathe out, return it back down towards the floor. Inhaling, exhaling. Torso responds by softening, foot responds by dropping, leg responds by floating. Inhale with your leg raised, and then exhale to bring the leg all the way back down towards the floor. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, take a breath in up at the top there. And as you breathe out, return. Already start to think about how long is the exhale. It's really when you're moving and how can you maintain that coordination of movement to your exhale. And as you exhale, travelling back down towards the floor. So you can continuously move. You're looking to complete an even number where possible. Inhale. And then exhale to return. And this is going to be my last one. Take a breath in. Exhaling to drop down to float. Inhaling up at the top there. And then exhaling to bring the leg all the way back down again. I'm going to stand down into the foot this last time. And this time when I float the leg, I'm going to keep the leg raised. I'll take a breath in. As I breathe out, I'm going to use my torso. It relaxes, the foot lightens, the leg floats up. And then from here in this tabletop position, I could relax my shins and feet entirely just to take any extra grippiness from the thighs and the fronts of the hips, or could keep them quite open as I am doing. Interlace your fingers once more and take them behind your head. As you breathe out, think about lengthening as you've done with your feet already on the floor. Carefully nod your chin to chest and curl yourself up. Inhale whilst you're up there. How much room does the spine have between the blades? Inhale to lay yourself all the way back down again. Breath out. You create length. You're gentle with your chin to chest action. You're aware of not pulling on the neck. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, you'll bring yourself all the way back down again. We're going to add some arms to this, so as you exhale, you'll curl up. It becomes the long version of chest lift. Inhale, reach the arms to the legs. Exhale, use the arms wide. Create some resistance, backs of legs pushing into palms. Now, could you stay up there as you take the hands back behind the head, interlace and organise, and lay yourself all the way back down again. Exhale to lengthen, to nod, to drive the elbows forward and widen the blades. Inhale to reach or hold the thighs. Think about your elbows widening as you use the thighs and send them forwards. Hands coming back behind your head. If you needed to, you could bring your feet separately down towards the floor to complete the last two. Exhale, lengthen. Nod your chin to your chest, drive your elbows forwards. Inhale, exaggerate that where you can to hold. Exhale, use your legs, deepen your front body, deepen the curve, widen the back ribs. Could you stay up there as you carefully let go of the backs of the thighs, holding on to the back of the head and laying yourself down. Last one, exhale to lengthen, to nod and draw up. Inhale, reach and hold. Exhale, elbows go wide. Can you feel that you're in your torso rather than your neck? Inhale, hands come back behind head, adding some load to that curve. Lay yourself down and pop your feet separately down onto the floor. We're rotating from here, so as you exhale you can sway your legs to one side. Inhale when you're here and exhale to return. If you think about a strip of pelvis side to side, inhaling and exhaling to return, that you're going to try and keep balanced on, really centered on, so as that each time you return back towards the ceiling, you're regularly neutral. You have a little curve between your lower back and the floor. You have the other curves of your spine. You want to be really aware if you return and you're a little tucked, your pelvis is tilting towards the rib cage. That's it. Inhale when you're over and exhale to return. Take a breath in as you breathe out. And again, we're going to complete an even number. And you'll bring yourself all the way back up again. You're going to use the legs to sway the legs to one side. I'm going to come back to face you. And that's going to bring you over onto your side. So you're going to lay on a straight arm here with your knees bent. And hand is going to come onto your hip. You're looking at creating length. You could cushion up if you needed to, just for comfort. And really, you've used the movement to bring you over here, hoping that the soles of the feet are in line with everything else body-wise. If you gently push away with both legs, you'll find that the top leg lifts, but it's really quite effortless. This hand here is being used to create some length down the waist. And I'm going to inhale as I swing forward, and I'm going to exhale as I swoop back. You've got plenty of time to build. The first few are back to, can I move and coordinate the breath pattern successfully? So can I inhale and get to the end of my inhale and be at the front of my range so far as my flexed hip? Can I exhale and get to the end of the range, which is super important. You'll then notice that the movement isn't so abrupt. You might even feel that you slow down a little towards the end of range, but you've got complete control over your movement. When your leg swoops back next, you're going to keep it back, and we're going to transition to seated here. So if you're happy to come into a Z-sit, the leg comes down, you're up, and you're organised. Pay attention to the leg that's going to come behind you. Is that hip round enough for you to start to mermaid from here? You're going to inhale, and it's a whole shoulder movement to take you up there. You'll exhale to take yourself up and over to the side. Breath in when you're there, and breath out to bring yourself all the way back up again. So we're side bending. You could easily be in a long sit here. Breath in. You don't have to be in your Z-sit. You want to be comfortable. You could easily be seated on a chair as well, exhaling to bend. Inhaling when you're there and exhaling to come back. And we're going to make this the last one, but feel free to do more. Full shoulder lifting up experience. Breath in when you're there and breath out to come all the way back. We're going to do the other side. We're turning round. You just want to be comfortable with the upper body, and then really organised through the lower half. So soles of feet in line with back of pelvis. Can you get a sense of that and the back of the head? Hands coming onto the hip. I'm going to be super aware of having a long waist, so I'm going to use that hand to create some length through both sides. If I gently push out with both legs, the top leg lifts with ease, and then I'm going to inhale. Imagine I'm swallowing this right thigh bone, and exhale. Back of the thigh bone is taking me back. Doesn't have to be huge. Inhale to come forward. You can build on the range the more you do. Exhale to come back. But your aims here are torso stillness and understanding of pelvis stillness too, as if you were doing leg raises on your back. Inhale, sit bone is going to reach and fire towards the end of the mat as that leg comes forward. Sit bones will naturally narrow as the leg comes back. Long drawn out breath patterns. This is your last one to scoot back here. And when you're back, you're going to bring yourself up to sit if that's comfortable for you. And we're going to come into mermaid. Be aware of your back leg. Might have to make an adjustment just as we transition there. And then you'll inhale. The whole shoulder lifts out and up. Exhale to bend. Breath in when you're over in your side bend, and breath out to bring yourself back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale when you're over, and exhale to come back. Breath in, breath out. Inhaling and exhaling. This is going to be last one. Breath in and breath out. Take a breath in when you're here and breath out to bring yourself back. From here you're going to come to a seated position. You're going to come into assisted roll down and assisted roll up. We've already prepped the up so far as the long version of your chest lift, so you can think about wide elbows, finding a deeper connection through the front of the body and wide in the back ribs. You're going to take a breath in and sit tall. It might be for some of you that as you breathe out and the feet go forward, you'd just like to try more of a tilt through the pelvis. Take an inhale here and exhale to come back up again. To test the water, see how you'd feel exhaling feet. Big toes always firing forwards and away. And then inhale to bring yourself back up again. This movement's going to come into full roll down now. So your feet will go down and forwards in the same way. You start to tilt. You're aware of that width through the back of the body. It's width as much as length. Drag the balls of the feet towards you only when you need them, and that will slowly and smoothly bring you onto your back. Take a breath in, notice elbows are wide. We've already been here. Legs go forward, carefully nod your chin to your chest, deepen through the front body, elbows wide, heavy boots, be patient, and up you come. Exhale, feet go down and forwards. Notice how it feels here through the pelvis. Pay real attention to any little deviation side to side. You want to know how your body's moving naturally, and then you're going to try to interrupt that patterning. So as you exhale and the legs come forward, as well as everything else, you're going to think about narrowing through the inner thighs and the outer hips to smoothly bring you back through the sacrum and tailbone back onto your sit bones. We're going to do a few more of these. Really valuable for resetting as much as bridging is. So down you go, keep on tilting, only use your feet when you need them. Notice what happens. Take a breath in. This is going to be our last one. Feel free to stop if you feel like you've done enough. Big toes reaching forward. Navel responds by drawing back through the spine. And then after you've brought yourself up next, you could grab a cushion or something else to sit on if you wanted to, and we're going to come into spine stretch. So spine stretch is going to have that long sit, arms out in front of you. You'll take a breath in, and as you breathe out, carefully nod your chin to your chest. Front ribs roll in, the back ribs spread back. You're reaching up and over the thighs, reaching your fingers forward, and then you'll inhale. Imagine the wall is closer behind you and you restack from bottom to top. Exhale, chin to chest. Ribs are rolling in. There's an up and over feeling. The shoulder blades are definitely protracted. Inhale, but you want to be aware of them excessively elevating, so just be aware of this. You're looking at trying to keep the arms parallel with the floor. So the ribs are coming in. These back ribs are spreading wide and lifting up, which gives you that negative space, which is so important. Inhale, bring yourself all the way back up. You don't want to feel you're collapsing on your thighs. Last one, exhale. Up and over feeling. I'm still on my sit bones as much as I can maintain. And then inhale to come back. Spine twist is next, so take your arms out to the side. As you breathe out, you're going to rotate to one side. Take the gaze a little further. Allow it to open your collarbone and keep rotating through the neck. And then inhale, bring yourself back to center. It's a definite exhale to come round. Keep looking round with the neck and head. Could the collarbone widen and help you round a little bit more? Breathe in. As you breathe out, you're rotating, sitting as tall as you can. Definitely recommend something block-like underneath the pelvis here if you can, or once more, you can do this seated on a chair. And then we're back to the side. Coming into full roll up and full roll down now. So you're going to take your arms out in front of you. Same rules apply as the assisted version. So backs of legs here, push down into the floor. You're aiming to try and leave your feet where they are. You could inhale at this level, and I would definitely recommend it if you're not overly loading through the lower back. Take a breath in, or even a hinge would work too. Otherwise, you're taking it down to where you feel you could get back up from. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, ribs drawing in and back to bring you all the way back up again. This is going to be full version now. And you could have been doing the full version the whole time if you wanted to. Notice what's happening. What do you feel against the floor there, through the sacrum, through the lower back? It's an inhale, that's a big arm arc there. As you exhale, arms go to ceiling, chin to chest. And we could take this into the full version, having already done the spine stretch where we are up and over from here to start again. So exhaling, drawing the navel back, still quite strong, feeling like you're pushing your thighs forward as you go down, wide and open through the hips. Arm arc, haven't done this with two arms yet, but really keep reaching up and back, use your shoulder blades. Up you go, a little bit of space for the spine, ribs are drawing in, and try and find my sit bones, even though it's slightly more complicated to do so, coming straight into spine stretch. And I'm going to make this my last one. I'm coming down, and I'm going to stay here. So from here we're going to come into some hamstring work. If you wanted to, you could cushion up once more depending on how it feels for you. Otherwise, you're going to bring your left leg into your chest. This is an organisation of your standing work, your standing balance. Now this right leg is as long as it can be. You're as open through the front of the hip as you can possibly be, and as square through the leg that you're lifting as you possibly can be. Take a good hold of this leg that's in towards your body, and you'll inhale, open up the back of the knee, and you'll exhale and relax the foot. Your aim here is to keep the thigh bone close in towards the body. As the hamstrings become taut, they will definitely want to push into the palms of the hands, forwards and away from you, so be aware of that. On this last one, I'm going to take the leg up towards the ceiling and I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to release the arms and have the arms just a little bit wider than the mat. This is going to take me into leg circles. If you'd prefer, you could do leg circles with a leg bent, slightly lighter load. Otherwise, leg goes across the body, goes downwards and out to the left. You're wide across the front of the hips as much as you can. You're aware of your shoulder blades, you're aware of your arms, you're not going to overly use them, but you're aware of them. They're wide and away from the body to help create some space for you. Last one, or you could just keep it at 3 if you wanted to. You change direction, so the leg goes out to the left, and as soon as it does, you want to be aware of pulling wide across the front of the hips just to try and keep you with that stillness coming all the way around. Again, you could stop after 3 or 4, depending on how you feel. And then after you've worked this leg, and it is a lot of work, you're going to bend the knee in and roll yourself over onto your side. It's the same leg. So whichever leg you've started with your hamstring, your leg circles, it's the same leg now that you're going to use forward and back for your side kick. So you're on your forearm, and I would recommend, depending on how it feels up here, that you allow this palm to be slightly further open. It immediately lifts the torso. It helps you find the back of yourself. Use it, try it, see how you feel. Gently the feet move away from each other. You'll inhale to swing the left leg forwards, and you'll exhale to swoop the leg back. Small movement. Be really aware of going too big too soon, especially when you're coming back. How's that working out for you? Really reaching 2 limbs away from each other. Inhaling and exhaling. Notice that the foot is flexed as it comes forward, longer at the back, pointed at the front as it moves back, longer through the front. Last one. And then you can rest down. All of that once more with the other leg. So you're bringing yourself onto your back. Probably going to notice quite a difference through the left side. Pay it some attention, it deserves some attention, there's definitely change there. And then bring the other leg in. So everything now is repeated on the other leg. Reach that leg that you've used long. Indulge in the openness and the space you've created in that hip. Use it, utilize it. Foot is relaxed to begin with. So the thigh is close in. And then relaxed. So I'm going to inhale. And then exhale. Breath in. And breath out. Thigh bone is going to work to stay close. All hands and arms are going to work to keep their thigh bone close. And then after you've taken this last one, the leg will stay up, you'll release, and the arms are going to come beside you. This could be slightly outwardly rotated, depending on your level, depending on your knowledge, in which case it comes across the body first, it goes down and out to the side, and pauses when it gets back up towards the ceiling. Across, down and out, and up to the ceiling. Could be 3, we're doing 4 in this one, and then after you've done this last one, you're going to change direction. Pelvis is super important, trying to keep it wide, and use the idea that your arms are wide, your shoulder blades are wide, so why not the pelvis? Three or 4 once more. From there you're going to come over onto your other side. Same idea, 2 straight legs. I'm also going to adopt that width across the front so that I can come in a little more to what's happening in the back of me. Feet are going to widen. Inhale, swing forward, and exhale, swing back. Inhale and exhale. Last one. And you can rest the leg down. So from there we're going to come into 100. Really important during 100 that you listen into how it feels for you, that you choose to keep the feet on the floor or return them to the floor separately, depending on how it feels for you. When you're in your curl up, you listen into what's happening in the neck. You're trying to get up really high through the upper body in order that this area doesn't have to work for you so far as overly doing the flexion. Remember that this is all about your middle spine still. So you're on your back and you'll take a breath in. Do you feel straight as you breathe out? Torso, foot and float. Like you would if you were doing leg raises. Take a breath in when the leg's lifted. And as you breathe out, the leg will float too. Arms are going to come up towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, reach the fingers up, nod your chin to your chest, curl yourself up, and you've got options. You can stay bent or you can reach the legs long. And then you'll inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. In, 2, 3, 4, and out. You're aware of taking the arms too low, so keep them quite high. In and out. And again, listening in. How wide does the back of the body feel as you're moving? In and out. In and out. In and out. In and out. Last 10. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Carefully bring your knees into your chest. Lay yourself down and bring your feet separately down onto the floor. From there we're coming over to lay on our front. Lay in a goalpost position. Elbow to elbow, wide. Forehead resting either on a head cushion, you can just rest it down on your mat or whatever you're working on. Walking your legs away from your pelvis. So you'll take an inhale, create some length through the upper spine. So right from between the shoulder blades, just visualize that length up through the neck. Back of the head begins to lead, gaze will lift, and as you exhale, you return. The inhale naturally creates some length through the spine that you're just going to capitalize on by matching it with your initial movement. So you're thinking, I'm going to get longer through the crown of my head. Allow the back of the head to keep lifting. Gaze just travels away, and then exhale to return. And done correctly, you get some excellent feedback in the upper spine. Now you could stay there if you wanted to, so far as level, but if you are happy to come up a little higher, you could begin to straighten the arms, and it would still have that same inhale. The arms don't have to be fully straight. Remember, you can always build, but you want to be aware of lifting the front of your body away from the floor. You draw your elbows back, you send the chest forward even more, and that's how you return. So inhaling is lengthening back of head through the initial position. Feel that hands pushing down into the floor. Have you brought your skin towards your clothing in the front half of your body? You only return because you start to soften the elbows. If they're bent already, bend them some more as your reference to just returning because of that. So you'll breathe in. Definitely want to go through the first stage. You need to feel where that first stage hits you spinally. And then elbows reaching back to come down. We're just going to do one more, but of course you could have paused now if you needed to. So breathing in, back of head, I'm as wide as I can be. Really working to feel the same in both sides of my shoulder girdle, rib cage and spine, and I'm back. So head is going to come onto the hands here. I'm going to go into double leg extension. So you'll reach 2 big toes away from you, hovering, and then resting them back down on the floor. I like to use an inhale here, but really it doesn't matter. Again, just the inhale promotes that length through the spine. It's going to help, especially where the pelvis meets the lower back. And you can already start to think about, as you're breathing in and reaching the legs long, is there lightness between the navel and the floor? This is going to turn into double leg kick. You reach your legs long. You send your knees away from you, folding in. You're looking for little to no response really from that junction between pelvis and lower back. So keep it light, be aware of it pushing into the floor heavily. Lengthen. Knees reaching. Lengthen. Feet relaxing. Last one. And then we're going to play with dart. So arms can come beside you. You think about what you've already prepped in your goalpost. You'll breathe in and lengthen through the upper spine. Lift the gaze, back of the head leads. Sort of picks up the collarbones as it comes with, as do the upper arms. And then you exhale to bring yourself all the way back down again. I'm trying to attach a long drawn out inhale to a long drawn out extension movement pattern. So notice there's no momentum anywhere. The pace is smooth and controlled. Even at end of range, thinking about your side lying, your swing of your legs forward. Exhale to come back, beware of breath holding. Last one, inhale to lengthen, to widen. And exhale to return. After you've done any extension movement pattern, you need to flex. So here you're going to choose either to come into a child's pose, and reaching your arms away from you. If you get here and there's really nothing, there's no response of opening through the spine, you want to create more of a curve. So you come in slightly tighter with the arms, you let the back of the neck hang, and you're going to lift the front of the body away from the thighs just to create more of an open curve. As you know, you could be on your back here with your knees into your chest if you needed to. Otherwise, from here, you're going to bring yourself up into a kneeling chest expansion. So, high kneeling position, kneeling tall. Essentially, your initial setup is a bridge. So, you're thinking about openness through the front of the hips as much as you can. You're going to look directly forward and turn your palms to face the side. And then as you inhale, can you keep that straight spine, honouring curves, and then exhale, bring yourself all the way back up again. So you'll breathe in. Think about the length. Just notice what you get there through the front of the body. Breathe out. Could have been your last one, but we're going to do one more. You're going to go up as you're open, and hopefully in the back of yourself, easy through the front ribs, exhaling to bring yourself all the way back up again. From there, we're going to come on to hands and knees. This is going to take you into plank, leg pull, and then a reverse roll up. At any parts of which you could change and just come up to stand in a regular way. So you're on your hands and knees, you push down into the floor with diagonally opposite hand and knee, so that you can easily free one leg behind you without too much disruption to the torso. Curl that toe under, and as you connect into the floor, you're really thinking about heel and hamstring and their connectivity between each other. And then you'll push down into the floor with a tripod, 2 hands, 1 foot, to slide your other leg out. The leg that comes out second is going to push down into the floor as you float. And it's the same idea, you're always left with a tripod of support, so use your heels, use the toe to release, and be super aware of big transference of weight of the pelvis. So you want that stillness across the front of the hips as much as you can. This will be your last one, so 4 or 6, again we're going to go for odd numbers. And then when the leg's down, you could either come separately down to the mat with your knees, or if you're happy to invert, walking back to your feet. If you have inverted, I would recommend you stay there for a moment. You soften your knees if you need to. Be accustomed to being upside down. Start to leave the floor with your hands, and as you exhale, lift the navel up towards the spine, unraveling to bring yourself all the way up to stand. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, nod your chin to your chest. Front ribs roll in. You can think spine stretch, back ribs spread back. How does it feel? You want to hang there. And then if you want to, you can walk yourself out. You don't have to. But as the pelvis goes down, the back of the head comes up to find your plank position. And then you send your heels backwards and downwards to bring yourself all the way back. Soften your knees if you need to. And then as you breathe out, heels down, navel up. Unravel. Bring yourself all the way up to stand. Last one, exhaling. Ribs rolling in. Heavy hands, let them go. Heavy head will then follow. You could soften your knees at the bottom there, you don't have to. Have them straight. And then 1, 2, 3, if you really wanted to challenge yourself with the hands, pelvis goes down, back of the head comes up relatively. And then as you exhale, heels go back and down. And this could be a 1, 2, 3 as well, with your hands returning. You've already prepped your standing balance to finish. So you could take that into standing with your thigh bone high. And on each leg, you've got your inhale and your exhale, being really aware of the thigh bone wanting to move downwards this time. It's quite a load for the arms. And again, that could be 3 or 4 before you switch to the other side. Leg is held in tight. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Take care, everyone.